Hi, welcome to Inside the Moms Club, where being a mom is the coolest place to be. Here in the Moms Club, we believe that what embarrasses you now will make a great story later. And let's face it, you don't laugh sometimes, you're going to cry. Join us in having a good laugh together. I'm Monica Samuels. You are now inside the Moms Club, your private destination for all things mom.
If you see me running, stop me.
Welcome, moms. Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. I'm Monica Samuels, your host, and I'm here with my co-host, Julie Orchid. Hey, Julie.
Hey, what's up?
Well, what's up? It's almost Halloween. It's that time of year when
It's coming fast.
I kind of dread myself. I don't know. Do you like Halloween?
Listen, I've lost a lot of friends over this, Monica. I don't like to dress up personally, and everyone wants to know what's wrong with me. You know, but I do enjoy watching other people do it. I mean, I think it's fascinating. But for some reason, I am not comfortable doing it. Are you?
I don't really dress up on Halloween either, which is kind of tricky. Well, no, I've done it too. And I guess it's been the reception I've gotten has not been that great.
Yeah. It's maybe like me. Some people say you don't like caffeine or chocolate. I think something's wrong with them. But this is kind of the feeling I get when they ask me to dress up.
Some people dress up their pets, right?
I'm into.
Are you one of those some people? Oh, you are. Okay.
100%. PetSmart, Petco, they're getting my business left and right. Okay. And I'm pretty sure my dogs hate it. But I've had some good costumes. How about you?
You know, I don't do it for Halloween, but I actually, I've had some tricky situations doing it. Like for example, one year I dressed my dogs. It was the World Series 2, and it was the Dodgers versus the Astros. And I put a Dodgers hat on one of the dogs and an Astros hat on the other dog. And one of the dogs has since passed away. And I don't send me a lot of hate mail, but I don't really like the Dodgers or the Astros. Oh my God. And see, for those who can't see it, but who will see it.
Yeah,
if you're on podcast, you can't see it. My picture of my sweet dog in a Dodgers hat, and he's passed away.
It's really
and
cute.
So now every time I see, it's a cute picture, but I'm thinking, he's in a Dodgers hat. And I'm a Rangers fan. So, it's kind of rough. And then the other one had on the Astros hat. And, of course, that was the year they got caught in the cheating scandal. So, it's just kind of like someday I'll look at that picture and think, why did I have you wear that hat? Or my other dog, I don't do Halloween, but I dress him up for his birthday. And he's got that little pointed hat on. He's got a little cigar in his mouth. Oh, there he is.
He's got like a cashmere sweater on.
And you put that on him, and like 5 seconds later, it's like underneath his chin, and it's dragging the floor, and he's choking on the thing that I gave him. Yeah, is it humane? Is it a good thing to do?
I don't know. It's really cute. I've dressed my dog as a banana. I've dressed my wiener dog has a hot dog costume because every wiener dog needs a hot dog costume. So I couldn't get enough of it.
I see a lot of it.
And a bumblebee.
Well, you know what? We have a new segment sponsored by the Rental Girl, which we'll hear about a little bit more later. But our good friend is with us today, Beth Bigler from Honoring Our Animals, and she's just the person to answer this question. Welcome, Beth. Welcome back to the Moms Club.
Woo! Hey, everybody. Good to see you again.
So let's start. So first of all, should we dress up our pets? I mean, is that being a humane pet owner? Is that or should we be more thoughtful about it? What should we do?
Well, listen, this is very much, if your animal will tolerate it, then I say go for it. I mean, I have certainly seen many animals dressed in all kinds of fabulous fashions for Halloween and other holidays. So, as long as you don't have to administer any sedatives to get it done, I say do your thing.
But I assume you would also say you should be thoughtful about it. Because, look at me. I put my dogs in something that I personally would never wear myself. So, so how do you make those choices? Because later on, and you deal a lot with pet bereavement, that's what you specialize in. Yeah. Later on, when the dog has passed away and you're trying to fondly remember your dog or pet, you don't want to remember them as a Dodgers fan. Well, at least at my house. So what? Like, what do you suggest in that situation?
Well, maybe the guideline here is if you wouldn't wear it yourself, maybe we don't subject our animals to it. That could be a good line to draw, right?
That's true.
But I do think, maybe not for you, Monica, but for many of us, when we do dress up our animals for Halloween, that is a very fun, happy moment. A lot of people only get that moment just for the snapshot to get the social media post or the calendar, because people make calendar photos, of their animals, and that's the October photo. But I do also really believe in carrying on this costume tradition, even if your beloved is no longer here. So, Monica, for you, I might be like, do you want to take a baseball a costume, maybe a better team, to another animal in need, or to a rescue or a shelter to dress up one of their animals for Halloween and maybe help them get adopted, or leave a cuter baseball costume at your vet's office and say, hey, anyone who would like a costume for their beloved, go ahead and take one? Because that might be a way to sort of, repair this this bad baseball costume experience.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice.
That would be nice. Now, Julie, would you wear a hot dog costume?
Listen, it depends on who it was for. If it was for my kids, you betcha.
Oh, okay.
If I got to carry around a new puppy wiener dog again, I would do it. So, why not?
I do like the idea of the calendaring in, having cute ways to remember your pet by creating something. And I was telling Julie earlier, I was like, I don't dress up my pets. Well, then I started looking through pictures, and sure enough,
you most certainly do.
I do.
Yeah.
And I have to say that the lovely cashmere sweaters that they wear at Christmas is,
it's a real thing.
It really adds to the family photo. So I get that. So that's a smart way to.
But Beth deals
enjoy
with
your pets
remembering
and
pets
them
all the time. Beth, what's the number one thing that you see the way that people remember their pets, like when you're talking with them? Like, what brings them joy and that dopamine hit from?
Well, specific to Halloween, one of the things I love to talk about is how far pumpkin carving has come, my friends. Now, if you don't know about this, we can now get custom stencils with portraits of our animals on Etsy. You can get these now. We have plenty of time to order. Get them in advance. You can carve a portrait of them into a pumpkin. You can carve their name into a pumpkin. Or, some people get signs from their animals, butterflies, ladybugs, whatever the signs are that you get from your beloved, you can carve that into a pumpkin. So I gotta say, at Halloween, one of the most amazing ways to honor our beloveds is to include a portrait of them in your pumpkin carving or pumpkin carving party.
I'm obsessed with what
idea.
you just said. That's a great idea. I like that. Sweetie, you're going in a pumpkin this year.
Yeah.
That's it. Done.
With Jack.
With Jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
My beloved Jack.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. No, that is great advice for all you getting ready for Halloween. And that's how you can include the pet who may no longer be with you on Halloween. I think that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Beth, for joining us. That's been very insightful. And happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
So, thank you. Thank you, Beth. Well, we are excited to have someone today who actually, I believe, is a pet owner.
I know. I'm like 100%
she has a
sure.
dog named Biggie, unless Biggie is no longer with us. In which case,
we hope he's with us.
we would refer her back to Beth when Beth is available.
Yeah, then we'll refer
But
her.
I hope that Biggie is still around. But she's also got a lot of other amazing things about her that we want to share.
Yeah.
And we first met her at the MS Gala on the red carpet, the Race to a Race MS Gala. She is a comedian, an actress, a TV personality, an influencer, and she's an amazing mom to two great kids. Please welcome Tori Hart. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Tori, I feel like you've dressed Biggie up a couple times. Like, maybe as an accessory, jacket, something. You are a fashionista yourself. So spill it, girl, because you know that you're not going to get away with saying you don't have a jacket for this dog.
Listen, he has a whole closet. I am that mom. I am that dog mom.
Of course. What kind of dog is Biggie?
So Biggie is a Frenchie.
Okay.
And Biggie's a Frenchie. I have a cat. I had another dog, and I'm that dog mom. He passed. His name was Hunter. And I got him cremated, and he sits on a mantle in my entryway. So I am definitely that dog mom.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Well, we love hearing that.
Yeah, we are dog moms too, for sure. Well, you have two amazing kids, Heaven and Hendrix. And Heaven, now I'm one of those moms, I'm going to be, everybody knows this about me. I'm kind of an overachieving mom, like through my children.
Right.
You know, like I want them to have straight A's and this and that. Your daughter was the salutatorian of her high school. Do you know how many moms like me aspire for their kid to be the salutatorian at their high school?
I mean, I just want mine to do her homework.
I could never achieve it. Well, I mean, I wrote so many papers for him. I tried everything. So what was your secret? Like, how did this, I mean, we're all taking big notes. Everyone is impressed.
Listen, let me tell you, first of all, I didn't know she was salutatorian until about 2 days before the graduation.
Wow.
She goes, Mom, so I need you to help me with this speech. I said, speech for what? She's like, for graduation. I was like, you're delivering a speech? She said, yes, I'm salutatorian. I said, well, when were you going to tell me? So I had no idea. That's the type of kid I had. She likes to spring surprises on us. You know, I can't take credit for this. I was blessed to have just a good kid. I mean, I had her in church early on in life. I always instilled in her, be great at whatever you do. Be that person. But, you know, she listens. So I got to give her the credit. She listens. She works hard. And it's kudos to Heaven. It's all her.
But she did get those brains from somewhere. And we assume it's from her mother.
Of course.
So, yeah, that helped a lot.
I dropped out of community college, okay? So, I mean, I'm the street smart. Maybe she got it from my sister, because my sister she's a journalist and journalism major, political science. So maybe, you know, my sister skipped over into my daughter. I don't know.
So your side of the family is where those brains come from. And you've also just tipped us off on another little thing. So you really didn't do anything. Like you didn't help her with her SATs, or she did it all herself. Are you telling me that? That's so an old-fashioned way of doing school.
Well, she had a great guidance counselor. Of course, I talked to the counselors. You know, I always was there. I got her the best tutors. I did get her great tutors. But outside of like pushing her to do the work, she's an Aries. So, you know, she's fire. She always wants to be the best that she can be. So, you know, I will give her that credit. And then, you know, me and her father, we definitely are hard workers. So I think she just looked at that and was just like, I have to achieve big goals. Yeah.
Well, she definitely did. That is very, very impressive. So her father and your son's father is Kevin Hart. So that's your ex-husband. Tell us a little bit about how the beginning of that story, because you're a comedian, he's a comedian, and you met in community college, right? So you knew him from the beginning. And so we met at community college in the cafeteria. He was cracking jokes. I got class clown in high school, so I always was around people that were funny. And, you know, we hit it off. We met in the cafeteria. We were also in a class together, and I went with him to his first ever comedy show. And next thing you know, I'm with him at every show because he said I was his good luck charm and he needs me there. And boom, that's how that happened. Years later, move out to LA, get married, have children, get divorced, and I'm free. And now the journey is about me. Yeah, that's awesome.
Woo!
Yay.
I'm all about that.
We love that. And so in the beginning days, you both are in the same field. Did you write material for him, and he, of course, was supportive of you and did the same for you? Or how did that work? Because I know sometimes there's the power behind the man.
Yeah.
I'm that person in my husband's life, and just so you know.
Well, I definitely can say I was his muse. I would be in the back, not realizing when he was doing stand-up, you know, I was in the back always studying, but I didn't know what I was doing at the time because I didn't know I was going to end up being a comedian. I was always funny, but I didn't know stand-up was going to be the way because I was also a theater major and did theater art, so I was an actress. You know, but once I started hanging out at the comedy clubs and growing up, my mother and father used to always play Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Mom's Mabley, Dick Gregory. So I would always be listening to it in the house, and I always loved it, but I never knew that was what I was going to do until I was introduced to it. And then once I got introduced to it, I was like, oh my God, I love this. I can do this. And so I would just take note. And then one day I just hit the stage. And I started at the Ha Ha in North Hollywood. Shout out to Jack. He's always been there to support me and let me get stage time.
Nice.
And from then on, I started just, perfecting the craft. And then one day I came to Kevin and asked him if I could open up for him. And he let me open up for him. And then from there, that's where I just kept doing comedy. And now I'm actually on tour. I have my own tour, Feeling Extra Tour, which kicks off October 13th October 12th through the 14th in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's going to be a great show.
That is great. So you're a parent, so you're a mom of young kids, and you're starting on this comedy career. So what was that like? Did your comedy change? Like, how's it evolved over the years having kids? Because, I don't... Mm-hmm. Well, how would the jokes go? I mean, have you pretty much stayed the same in terms of what you talk about, or do you incorporate your kids into it, or how does that work?
Yeah, so they've definitely changed, because when I started, I was married. So, now the jokes are more so like my kids are rich and I'm not. You know what I mean? Because they do real rich shit with their dad. Oh, excuse my language. They do real rich stuff with their dad. And I, on the other hand, I'm doing well, but I'm not, private jet rich. You know what I mean? So the jokes are very, very funny, from how they live with me to when they go and live with their dad.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So now this is a question that I had, because I have a little bit personal experience with it. So are your kids okay with being in the jokes? Because I know here on the Moms Club, every once in a while we'll talk about our kids. And so one time I talked about my son, and I put the thing on Instagram, and the next day I get this message that comes from him on Instagram that says, "I believe I have a lawsuit for defamation." And I said, first of all, truth is a defense. So that is not, so we squelched that one, but it was clear. He was like, "Hey, I don't want you talking about me." So are your kids cool with you making them part of the act?
Sometimes, it depends on what the bit is. My son, he doesn't really care. My daughter, now that, she is 18 and she's off to college, so she's got this reputation now. So she's more so like, "Mom, okay, you can use somebody else for your bits, Yeah. And I'm like, whatever, I'll do what I want. I'm still going to use you. If you don't like it, don't listen.
Right. That's what I say.
It's like, what are you going to do to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, deal with it. And I said, and in life, there's going to be things that people do that you don't like anyway. So I'm just getting you started early on how to deal with it.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Well, Tori, I have a question, because at this time of year, you always read, when you read about on Instagram or posts from your friends or whatever, we have a lot of kids that have gone off to college. I'm not going to ask you how that experience was. I just want to know if you've been walking around aimlessly, lost a little bit without heaven. I mean, people are going to ask, how did you deal with it? We know we got to give them wings and they got to fly, but is it a little stab in your heart and a little twist? I mean, tell us the truth.
Listen, I was up at her school yesterday doing a picnic.
Okay.
So
by yourself, waiting for her to come find you, or
I probably might be in the bushes one day. Okay, but
I mean, are you spying or what's happening?
Right, just like I just need to see her. I needed my heaven fix. I told her yesterday. I was like, I needed my heaven fix. So I was, me and another mom, her friend, they both went to their high school together.
Okay.
So I was asking her, because her daughter's a sophomore. I was like, when did you finally go up to the school? I said, because I need to get up there. She's like, Tori, it's only been 3 days. Like, give her at least a week. And I was like, I can't do it. So, I ended up giving her a week. And then, I was like, Heaven, how do you feel about doing a picnic? We come up, do a picnic. And she was open to it. And she said, oh, yeah, Mom, I would love that. So thank God my daughter is open to it.
Yes.
Because I got to go up yesterday and we did a picnic.
Good.
She loved it. And she actually was like, we should do this like once a month.
Well,
so the fact that she said that lets me know she's still my little baby.
I love that.
I am so impressed. I am so impressed. Now, you have a son, too, so we'll see how it goes with him, because I'll say I have 2 sons, and if I said,
let's do a picnic.
Can I come do a picnic at your college? He would say, sure, Mom, and the next thing I'd know, I'd be hauled off to the he'd call some of the authorities. I don't think he would do a picnic. So I'm really impressed. That speaks volumes about your relationship.
I have a secret for you.
Yes.
I took my dog for a walk on campus and she saw me and she's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm just walking my dog. I don't know, like, so I had ways of sneaking on and getting glimpses. So thanks for being honest.
Well, it's nice that you still have that. Yeah, but don't be surprised if one of these days she's like, what are you doing here?
What are you doing?
Yeah. But no, that's great. You have such a great relationship. Well, real quick too, co-parenting, you alluded to it, and I did have to say that I saw online a picture of your daughter getting her new Mercedes for graduation from her father. What's that like? And a lot of parents, I mean, even not co-parenting, when you're married, like my husband and I, he's like the hero. He buys the fancy car or whatever, and I'm the one that has to complain that, why are you failing that class? Well, they haven't failed anything, but what's going on? Right. And so how do you deal with that? How do you keep them grounded? Yeah. How do you do that?
You know what? They're just great kids. And, at the end of the day, I teach them the value of things, here's the crazy thing. I think it's good that he is on such that level, and then I'm working my way towards that, because I still keep it real. I'm from North Philly, born there, moved to Jersey. So, I still have that, like, in me, that street a little bit in me. And now I do live in the hills, but I never forget my roots. I never forget where I came from, and make them understand, like, it is hard work no matter what. Your parents may have this, but you still have to work to get your own. Right. So instilling that in them and not letting them be brats and just running around thinking they can get whatever they want. They still have to work for what they get. If she wasn't getting good grades in school, she would not have gotten a new car. And actually she's gotten 2 new cars. She got one car for her 16th and then a brand new one for graduation. But that was because she works really, really hard. Right. Mm-hmm. And she's just a good person and kind-hearted and a good kid. And, it's just all about what you instill in your kids super young. I had them in church. I made sure we were in church. I made sure they went to the kids' Bible club and, staying in touch with the Creator and just understanding that everything that you get can easily be taken away. So never take anything for granted.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's really good advice. We know you're an amazing mom, but I want to hear about, for you, what you are most excited about coming in the year. I know you have a tour coming up, but tell us a little bit about that, because moms are going to ask and they're going to want to know.
I'm so excited about the tour. So it's called the Feeling Extra Tour. And it's basic. I'm feeling myself. You can feel extra good. You can feel extra happy. You can feel extra funny. It's really just, I'm feeling extra about me. I got my daughter off to school. Yeah. My son is in the 10th grade. He's doing great. And so, I'm finally feeling a little bit of room to breathe and do me. So, I'm on tour. I'm talking about my life. I'm talking about dating. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about the astronomical prices of food, which is ridiculous. I'm like, when did food get so freaking expensive?
With a son who's eating you out at a house of gold.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and he has to eat like a lot because he's a track star. So, that's a lot. And just what's going on in the world. So it's really just that. And it's like, I don't feel any guilt this time out. You know what I mean? Because before I would go on tour and I'm like, I got to rush home right back to the kids. But now that, my son, I told Kevin, I'm like, he's at that age where you really have to be the person who's like laying down the ground. I did the foundation work. Now it's really up to you to like really make him that man. So I'm just in a great place. Yeah, of feeling extra and feeling myself.
Nice.
That is amazing. There's a rumor out there that you might have a TV show in the future, or is that?
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I can discuss that. Muslo? I don't know.
That's totally fine. We just wanted
never know.
We just wanted to throw that out there. So,
right.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Tori, we have an amazing sponsor for this show, and that is The Rental Girl, which is a female-owned and operated full-service residential brokerage firm in Los Angeles. They specialize in residential leasing and sales. And if you're looking to rent or buy in Los Angeles, you need to check out the rentalgirl.com. And I will say I was so thrilled to see this because every time we come to LA, Julie wants to look at houses and she thinks, maybe I should live here.
Well,
so
she puts me in charge of driving, and
so
we're not taking the way the
I
GPS
give her the
says.
car, and
we're going to go look.
We're looking at real estate.
We
so
sure
check
are.
out therentalgirl.com.
And I have checked out that website, and it is awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that is terrific. Well, Tori, we have some women we'd like you to meet, and they are the Zoomer moms. So welcome,
Okay.
Zoomer moms. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Woo!
Hey.
Hi, moms.
Hello.
And our first mom we want to talk to is actually the owner broker of the Rental Girl,
That's right.
Liz McDonald. Welcome to the Moms Club. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you have a question for Tori.
Okay, well, I'm the owner broker of the real estate brokerage, the Rental Girl, which we specialize in residential leasing and sales. It's a company I started in my early 20s. And incidentally, Tori, you and I share a birth year, so we're the same age, a few months apart, I think. And I'm just so attracted to your energy. I just love this energy that you have, and I'm like, where did you get it? And your skin, it's so beautiful, and you're so youthful. Like, I guess my question for you is how do you my son is 10, you've got kids who are older than me. I'm like, where do you get this energy from? And how do you stay so youthful and energetic?
Well, I'm a cougar.
Oh, that's the secret.
I love it.
That's probably one thing.
My God, that's the best.
End up dating a younger guy. I guess that's my energy attracts young. But I think I keep things light and fun. And even when I'm not having a great day, I always ask myself, is it really that bad? Or, if I'm getting too full of myself, I shift the focus to God. I'm really big with my spirituality. And, I'm just like, you know what? God, let me just worship you, because I'm worried about stuff that's out of my control anyway. So let me just shift the focus to you and get out of my own head, because half the times the stuff that we think is going on is not even going on anyway. And the next day it'll be completely different. So I just keep things light, keep it fun. And that's it, pretty much.
Yeah.
That is all good advice, I'm sure, even the cougar part especially.
100%.
Jennifer Marsh, welcome to the Moms Club. Do you have tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question for Tori?
Oh, yes, I do. So, yes, I'm Jennifer Marsh. I
Hi.
was in Boston, and 2 kids, one in high school, one in college. And I love that you said you grew up with your parents watching Eddie Murphy. There's no way my parents would have let me listen to Eddie Murphy. We definitely had to do it on the down low, after they were in bed. And so you obviously must come from amazing parents, right? Which is why you are an amazing parent. So are your kids, do they also love comedy and want to be performers?
Well, here's the funny thing. So my parents actually, I would sneak and listen because they would play the album. So really, they didn't know until I got older, and I told them I'd be at the bottom of the steps and they would have the albums because they would play the albums and I would be listening. So they thought I was asleep, but I wasn't. Unless they knew maybe and just was like, I'll just let her listen. But no, my children, they don't watch comedy like I watched it. I would listen and watch. So I would have to say no. They're more, believe it or not, music. Like my daughter, she's really into music and anime. And then my son, he's into video games and music as well. Comedy, not so much.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You said your son also runs track. Is he looking to do stuff in college, or is he an athlete?
I don't know. We'll see. He's really good though. So, if it goes to college, great. If not, he's great right now in high school. And I will say it's the one thing I've ever seen him take the initiative on his own, because I put him in so many other sports and different activities. But track is the only thing where he'll wake up at 7 a.m. like, Mom, I got to get to practice. Where's my food? I need my Gatorade. I have to recharge. I need my carbs.
Ooh,
this is the only thing where I've ever seen him take the initiative. So I'm pretty sure he's probably going to transition to college with track.
And that's so my son played baseball, and I can tell you, kids have to lead the way on that. You can't force him to be an athlete. It's very tricky.
Right.
Yeah. Helen, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little about yourself, and do you have a question for Tori?
Hi, Tori. My name's Helen
Hi.
Savant. I've got a 12-year-old middle schooler. And so I'm hoping that all the things that I've done to encourage her friends to, have this great friend group that, they'll stick together and, even if they're going to different schools down the road, they might, continue to stay in touch because they've got the ability to via social media. Did your moving around and with your daughter and your son, did they go to different schools than their friends? And how did they, how did you encourage them to communicate? And then as an aside, I live in Arlington, Virginia, and I see that you might be here in DC at the Comedy Loft on October 11th.
Yes, I will be there October 11th.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to get some tickets.
Yeah,
I love it.
Have a good time. So actually, I have to say, my daughter, she's been friends with the same group of friends since second grade. I kept her at the same school until she graduated. Mm-hmm. So she has a great core group of girls that she stayed connected with. And my son the same way. I kept him at the same school since kindergarten. And what me and the moms would do is we would take trips together with the girls. And luckily, I was able to be friends with some cool moms, which kept us together, kept the girls together, and then also the moms that kept my son together. So we would just plan things to do. And that's kind of how they stayed pretty close. And, luckily there was one girl who my daughter she stopped being friends with. And I asked her why, because they were really close. And she said, well, Mom, she does inappropriate things. And I said, inappropriate things like what? She's like, I don't want to tell her business, but I just can't be associated with those types of things. So I guess,
wise.
It's just really what you instill in your kid, and they're going to get it. You just have to instill it in them early on. Mm-hmm. And I would have to say that it's worked.
Yeah.
I didn't have to beat them, like old school moms. So I know growing up, I got like one beating and I was just like, oh man, but that didn't work for me. If you put me on punishment, that'll probably work a little better. But a beating, I just sit there and be like, okay, I'll take that and then go do what I want to do. But with them, I just always preach to them like somebody's always watching. So be mindful of that. So whatever you do in the dark always comes to the light, and know I'm always watching.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Sounds like you've done a great job raising these kids. Sounds like you should write a book about being a mom. I think it'd be very entertaining and informative.
What did you say, Tori? Say it again.
I said, I never even thought about that. I mean, I guess I just figured it's just what you have to do. So, I watched my grandmother raise 9 kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
so, she did it, she just did it. So I don't know. I guess I feel you just have to do what you have to do.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job. It also sounds like you've got your own mom's club. Our show started with a group of friends that were moms, and that's how we met. And so you still hanging out with those moms after the kids graduated, or are you still friends?
Yeah, she's getting her mom to drive her to the college, and
I mean all the moms' friends.
Okay.
Did anybody get kicked out of the moms club? Is what I'm asking.
Listen, ladies, I would love for you guys to have one of the moms on your show. She is a doctor. Katrina Babcock, you would love her. She's one of my best friends. Our daughters are best friends.
We would love that.
She's so amazing. She's, a holistic doctor, but she's a healer. And when I tell you, she's so fun. You would love her. And yes, that is one of the moms who's like my soul sister. I just, we're always together. We snuck into a concert together.
There you go.
We do some fun stuff together. And then on top of that, if I need an IV from partying too hard, she'll give me an IV to bring me back to life.
It's a benefit. It's a benefit.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Right.
That's a true mom's club.
I have a question for you, Tori, because you talked about co-parenting, and I happen to choose to parallel parent, and so I have a question. A lot of people are going to ask, what does that look like for you? Are you, doing custody different ways? Your son is still under 18, or are you mostly raising your children? And, you've done an amazing job of that, and I really commend you on that. There's different ways to parent, but I really would love to hear your thoughts on that, because there are a lot of people out there raising their kids in the way that you raised your kids. And, I know it wasn't easy, and so people will want to hear about that a little bit. Can you speak to that?
Right. Sure, of course.
Okay.
So, I would have to say both of the parents have to be on one accord. And if you're both understanding, it ain't about me, it's not about him, it's about raising healthy, productive children to contribute to society.
Great.
Then everything else is going to go out the window. You know, even when I was first going through my divorce, me and Kevin decided that we were going to make a conscious decision to just keep it based on the kids and making sure they were always happy and always felt loved.
Good.
And so we could literally be just having an argument, and then, you know, we got to change the kids around. And it's like, okay, kids, you go here. You're going to be with your dad for a few days and drop off. And they would never know anything because it was about them. It wasn't their fault that we didn't work out.
Sure.
And I never wanted my kids to suffer because of a decision that I made or because their dad made. And that's it. I just say when you remove your own, you know, agenda and really make it about the children, it will work. It's about the kids. And that's it.
Great advice.
That is great advice. Well, Tori, we have absolutely loved talking to you. It has been amazing. Now tell us again about your tour. Where can people see you and where can they find you on social media?
Yes, definitely. So the Feelin' Extra tour is coming to your city. It kicks off in Atlanta, Georgia at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, and that's October 12th through the 14th. DC, I am at the Comedy Loft on the 11th, and then I'm in Orlando. I believe it's November 19th. I don't have my calendar right in front of me, but all the dates will be on the FeelinExtraTour.com. Nice. That's coming. And also social media, you can catch me at Tori Hart, TORREI. My mother was a little dyslexic, but it is EI and HART. And that's where you can find me across the board on social media. And just look out. I promise you guys, come to the tour. I talk about a lot of things: parenting, dating, kids, you know, just fun. And it's just fun. It's light and fun. And you will have a good time. I have some amazing opening acts and also hosts. So I look forward to seeing you soon.
Great. Well, check out Tori Hart on tour. I will try to make it to DC.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what we'll find Helen and we'll see if we can.
We've got options.
We can make it a mom's night out. So
well, I mean, we could always move here.
Oh, well, we could
move here.
Or we could move here and catch her in LA because
I could go to Rental Girl.
rentalgirl.com, which I guarantee you that's where Julie's going to be next to try to find her.
Yeah, we're taking the long way home.
Exactly. So thank you to the Rental Girl. Check it out. Well, and check us out at Inside the Moms Club on Instagram and TikTok, and you can look at our website, Inside the Moms Club. I can't believe this time just goes by so fast, but it's so much fun to meet all these wonderful mothers and to spend the time with you. Thanks so much for spending your time with us. We know that your me time is precious and valuable. We hope you will join us again. And remember the Moms Club motto, if you don't laugh sometimes,
you're gonna cry.
So nobody likes to cry. Laugh out there, moms.
Yes.
We'll see you next time inside the Moms Club.